that comic view. But then I started hearing bad jokes and realized I wasn't. But it's always a pleasure to be back here. And you know, I've always said that the Brown fans are the best fans in pro football. And I qualify myself by saying that I'm from Houston and New Orleans, went to Tennessee. I went to the Raiders and the Raiders went from Oakland to LA. I moved back to Cleveland. Cleveland comes to Baltimore. I don't know if it's something they don't like about me or just in the wrong places at the wrong time. But in all of those moves, the fans really kind of gave up on the teams. Once they left, they were kind of through with them. But I have to say the Brown fans stayed, and they fought. And now it's much more difficult for an NFL team to move to another city, and that's because of the Browns fans. You know, watching these old films, you know, bring back a lot of memories that I can, and looking at pictures. In fact, I saw pictures tonight that I had never seen before. And he has a team picture, and I was trying to, some of the people I could see, some guys I could recognize. I don't have to see their faces, I recognize their bodies. And I have to keep counting because there's actually 11 guys there. And I was trying to stop the tape because I was still in my mind trying to figure out who was what. But that was the same team on the same year. And on the tape I looked up and Sight was in the huddle, and all those people were in the huddle just like I was watching on that picture. And we was trying to freeze it so I could play it and figure out who was what. But you know, it's the beginning of a new year, and remember last year, this time I was downtown at a draft party with a lot of the Brown backer fans. You guys are the same no matter where you go. And a lot of the Brown fans had forms of needs and people available, and kind of like autobiographies on their positions and accomplishments. And I remember that there were a number of players that Mangini said he wanted, but he felt like wouldn't be around because we didn't have the high enough picks to get them. And then he kept trading up, and those players were available. Then he got so into trading up that he passed on some of the players. And then there was a chance to get a lot of good players. Clay Matthews' son was one. And it kind of killed the draft party because we had high expectations, but we left there really disappointed. And I'd like to think this year, after the draft, I'm not really disappointed. I think they put people in positions of need now. Now those players, if they are right in their abilities as players, we should improve as a football team. And we just won't hope them to do it for a third time. He's already done it twice, so third time we'll benefit from it. So I look forward to that. I go to all the home games. I'm a frustrated fan, like a lot of people. And I tell you, I say, you fans, you guys are your own worst enemies. I was at a game, and we played terrible. And I'm walking out of the stands, and there's a guy. He's just so disappointed. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back. He ain't never coming back. He threw with the Browns. He going to another team. So now I'm walking out of the stadium. It's like 83,000 people, right? 2 weeks later, that 83,000 is walking into the stadium. Yeah. Guess who I see? Out of 83,000, I'm running to the same guy. And I said, aren't you lost? And he said, well, you Brown fan, we like to vent, but once we get over it, we come back. And that's true. That really is, that's true. I've been discussing a lot of different experiences and stories, and people have asked me a lot of different questions, and I'll probably wait till you ask me a question, because when you ask me a question, it kind of reminds me of a situation that happened. But we got a Pittsburgh Steelers fan in the room, and no, it's okay. I told him that every time I meet a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, it reminds me that good people make mistakes. I was telling him that I think 1978, there was one back rush for 100 yards against the Steel Curtain. And I asked him, did he know who that was? You know, you gotta give one choice. You know, the choice is standing there in front of him. He didn't get it. So I said, me. And I said, the reason that I got 100 yards against the Steelers was, it was in the wintertime. I had got a bad cold, my nose was running constantly. And the game plan for the Steelers, we had found out in film, is that the Steelers would wait for teams to come out and shift into their final formation, and then they would shift into a defensive formation that they thought gave them an advantage. And so our game plan was not to call a play or a formation, just call a play at the line, shift, and when they shift, we would shift back to what we thought we had an advantage. So we came out one particular play, and we shifted and they shifted. We shifted back and they shifted again. About 3 seconds. This took about 25 seconds. We only got 30 seconds to run a play. And finally he audibles to a play called 22 trap. And for all the ladies, and I'm sure you know this, in football, the center is the 0 hole, and then to the right is even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, and then to the left 1, 3, 5, 7. Your fullback is the 3-back, and your halfback is the 2-back. So he audibles to 22 trap, meaning that's me, the 2-back, going through the 2 hole. So they snap the ball, I go right up the middle, about 5 Steelers hit me, snot went everywhere. And these guys was backpedaling and getting off of that fast, and they, you know, the language they use is ridiculous. You know, can't you blow your nose or do something? I said, nope, I'm not blowing my nose. You got to deal with it. So they started arm tackling. I got 100 yards.